Over the last year, there have been an astonishingly large amount of cases involving sexual harassment in the workplace, specifically in the gaming industry. Back in 2020, Ubisoft came under the hammer for sexual misconduct, and then in February of 2021, the Riot CEO was accused of sexual harassment, including a whole slew of other things, including gender discrimination. And just when you think that was the end of it, Activision Blizzard have raised their ugly head because they are being sued by the Californian Department of Fair Employment and Housing. And I'm not going to lie, when I read this story, I kind of took a little bit of a gulp and my belly filled with a little bit of anxiety because this place sounds absolutely awful to work at. Basically, long story short, the studio has been accused of racial discrimination, sexual harassment, bullying, and frat house behaviour, which basically equated to sexual harassment, which we've already covered, unequal pay and retaliation. When I first saw this, I thought, well, this is, maybe there's been one particular instance and this is a case and someone's gone to them, but no, this has been an investigation that's been happening for over 2 years. And they basically have built up a whole slew of examples of gender discrimination. Some of these examples are compensation, assignment, the promotion, and even the termination of employees. Now, me living in the UK, I don't know if this is a standard part of American office culture, but apparently one of the things that they've been accused of is cube crawls. And what would happen is they would get together and drink copious amounts of alcohol and then proceed to crawl through all these different cubicles. Now, admittedly, you might just frown on that, but apparently this came along with a whole slew of inappropriate behaviour towards the female staff. And I mean, there's other examples as well, and some of these just seem absolutely ridiculous, including like people would play video games all day while giving all the work to the female staff, engaging in inappropriate sexual banter, and often joking about things like rape. And from here, things only get worse. I think the most harrowing thing about this whole case is apparently the suit points towards one female member of staff who actually took her own life on a company trip. Now, it doesn't give any specific details, but the only thing it does mention is that the employee was put under consistent sexual harassment before she took her own life. And some of these include having nude photos of her passed around at the company holiday. Now, I am not very familiar with any of the legal universes and how it all works, but to be honest, something like that almost seems criminal. So if you're actually wondering where this case is going and what they're trying to achieve with this, then we do have some answers to that question. So they want some of the unpaid wages paid for, punitive damages, also compensatory damages. They obviously want all attorney fees to be paid for, and also equitable relief. Interestingly enough, again, I don't really know how these usually work, but they're looking for a trial by jury. And if that happens, I would find it quite hard to disbelieve that no jury would be not on the side of these individuals impacted by everything that's happened. Now, as you can imagine, Activision Blizzard don't want to be seen just sitting around doing nothing about this, and they have tried to get ahead of this with the Blizzard spokesman coming out and giving a statement. And they have gone on to say that the DHEF includes distorted and in many cases false descriptions of Blizzard's past. We have been extremely cooperative with the DFEH throughout their investigation, including providing them with extensive data and ample documentation, but they refused to inform us what issues they perceived. They were required by law to adequately investigate and to have good faith discussions with us to better understand and to resolve any claims or concerns before going to litigation, but they failed to do so. The picture that the DFEH paints is not the Blizzard workplace of today. So essentially they're saying that they're just painting a false picture. Personally, I found a lot of these stories really hard to digest because they just were so harrowing and awful. Personally, there are only two things I would like to see out of this. One, that all people who were impacted by this actually get some reprimand and some relief from the way that they were treated. And two, that there actually be some reality to what Blizzard have been saying and that the Blizzard of today is actually a decent place to work for. Because honestly, it just sounds such an awful place to work at. And this is just another nail in the coffin, especially for big AAA studios. They all seem to have these similar behavioural patterns. And to be honest, it's not that far of a stretch to believe that maybe this kind of stuff could be going on. Nonetheless, I'll keep you up to date with everything going on with this story. I'd love to hear what you think about this and what your thoughts on it are. It is not an easy topic to digest, but nonetheless, make sure you're looking after yourselves, everyone stay safe and well, and I'll be back with more news soon.